It's time. If you wanna be a champion, you gotta do the work. If you wanna be a world dominator, you gotta know your worth. Unleash potential and leave a legacy. Whatever you want, whatever you need, you can find within the coach's seat. If you wanna be a champion, you gotta do the work. If you wanna be a world dominator, you gotta know your worth. Unleash potential and leave a legacy. Whatever you want, whatever you need, you can find within the coach's seat.
Hey everybody, I hope all is well. Listen, I am super excited to be on this evening because I am mentoring in the space of helping your coaching clients. So for all coaches, helping your current coaching clients to really increase self-esteem. I want you to join our text community at 833-567-4252. And all you need to do is text the word "the coaching seat" so that you can get our announcements. Okay. So I want to give you a little time to go on and share this out. Share this broadcast out, y'all, because I think this is going to be pretty good teaching and mentoring for those who are in the coaching space. So if you know of any coaches, both certified and non-certified, or we can say it in terms of people who are certified and people who have self-identified themselves as coaches, I want you to share this broadcast out with them because I want them to have an opportunity to experience this teaching. All righty, I am going to go on and get started. I was just making sure that we got this out to the public. And for those of you all who would catch the replay, make sure you also share it out. So I am Toyinda Smith Carter, and I'm the principal of the Coaching Seed. And our aim is to be the go-to learning and development firm for creating cultures of coaching, communication, and collaboration in academia, industry, and government. And I like to share with people that I'm very passionate about teaching people leaders to take a coaching approach to leadership so that attrition decreases. And if I wanted to say that in a different way, it would be so that talent retention is sustained. In addition to that, we're interested in economic empowerment, especially for entrepreneurs who are a part of historically underrepresented populations. So this is why we've created our credentialing program in coaching, facilitation, and speaking so that career professionals can generate additional revenue leading to financial freedom and sustainability. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining. Please share. We also provide our coaching services to really two main populations of people. And when I say coaching services, I'm specifically talking about our certification program. You can check that out at thecoachingseat.com. But that first population are those who self-identify as coaches, but oftentimes they feel as though their coaching work is questionable because they haven't gone through formal training. So just as a reminder, you don't have to be certified in order to coach, but it's good because what it does is it adds more weight and more credibility to what you're doing. So we are excited that we can educate and certify non-credentialed coaches so that they have more weight and more credibility in the profession, leading to more confidence, more clients, and more coins. I like to say that. And then that second population of people are those who've gone through coaching programs, but they don't immediately start coaching because they didn't learn enough technique. So we teach the credentialed coaches to use our SEATS, SEATS process. And that's our model for coaching so that they can put their knowledge into action right away. So we are enjoying the work that we do. when I stop enjoying the work that we're doing in the coaching domain, the collaboration domain, and the communication domain, then you will definitely know I will shift to something else. So again, you all share this out with coaches, both credentialed and non-credentialed coaches, and also go on and share this out to coaching leaders. So leaders who take a coaching approach, because in some instances, some of your team members or employees or the talent that's at your organization may also have a limitation or want to increase their self-esteem. All right, y'all. So we are going to get into this teaching, this mentoring. Again, I want you to tag all coaches. Those are those who are certified and non-certified. I want to share this information. And those who want to self-coach themselves, I think that this is good content and good information for you as well. So what we're doing here is our coaching tip that equips tonight is to focus on self-esteem. Focus on self-esteem, but we're talking about the self-esteem of your coaching client or your coachees, okay? That's what we're talking about. And so, just to define self-esteem, or the way I'm looking at it as the definition, it refers to an individual's overall sense of self-worth and personal value. All right. So, what we're doing tonight is we are providing a coaching approach. Specifically, I'm going to put this in the chat, but we're providing a coaching approach for those coaching clients and coaches that may have a limitation as it relates to their self-esteem. Now, many different things can come in and alter our self-esteem. For example, I've been noticing that many people in higher positions with a lot of experience are being what do they call it? They say that the organization is downsizing, or they're making some adjustments with departments, like they're taking out whole departments, etc. And so what that's doing is it's causing individuals with a lot of skill set and a lot of experience to be in a position where they are job searching. And so sometimes when those types of things are happening, I've been speaking with corporate women who have fallen into that category. So I have been able to really help them to partner with them to increase their self-esteem in this space. So I'm sharing with you that that is something that is trending right now. And as coaches, especially if you're in executive coaching roles, or if you coach higher level individuals, this is an area that you definitely want to focus on. Okay, so we're looking at self-esteem. And what we're going to do is work with them to increase it. So we understand that self-esteem refers to an individual's overall sense of self-worth or personal value. And it is how much a person appreciates and likes themselves. Come on. Often it's based on their beliefs about themselves. So again, remember I tell you, we don't just wake up and our self-esteem is low, especially if we are been in a corporate space, or we've been in higher education, or we've been in the nonprofit industry, entrepreneurial space. Things happen that cause an adjustment. And so we want to come in, as I have shared this in a few of my books. We want to come in as Coach O-Practors. Hello, that's a Toyinda Smith, Coach O-Practor. So we want to come in as a Coach O-Practor, and we want to provide an approach that begins to adjust or realign even the belief system of the individuals that we're working with. So a belief system about themselves, including their perceptions of their abilities, maybe even appearance, maybe even worth. And so self-esteem, you all, can influence many aspects of individuals' life, such as relationship, decision making, and emotional well-being. And A personal story. I didn't realize that I wouldn't be on a work assignment for longer than I was. And so that began to cause my self esteem to be adjusted. But as a coach, as one who has the ability and the tools, right, to coach themselves, I had to really look at that situation and answer this one very important question. And that question was, what opportunities arise when plans fail, life goes wrong, and you're not a good fit? And that's a main question that we have to ask, especially as I said earlier, what's trending right now is that companies are shutting down whole areas, which are causing individuals who have years of experience in a domain to be unemployed, for example. And so you have to understand that the self concept, which includes self esteem, ideal self, and self image, that thing begins to come under attack, and it creeps up on you. It creeps up on you. And so as coaches, we need to be able to partner with our people to help them to come out of that space. So again, relationship, decision making, emotional well-being can be adjusted. Okay. When we have high self-esteem, you all, it's typically associated with confidence. And you all know I have a book called The Handbook to Dominate Your Confidence. And what we understand in that book is that confidence is not a feeling, but rather it's action. As you take more action, you begin to build your confidence or feel confident. So high self-esteem is typically associated with confidence. It's associated with resilience as well. Like you have this I will not quit attitude. I can stay in the press, or I can continue to persist. So resilience is associated with them, and also a positive outlook on life. Whereas low self-esteem, you all, can lead to individuals feeling very inadequate. So individuals can feel inadequate. Self-doubt can come in. So whenever doubt shows up, doubt just means you are really second guessing whether, should I do this? Should I do this? Am I capable of this? Am I capable of that? So that self-doubt comes in, and sometimes even negative self-talk. So it's important for us all to maintain a healthy self-esteem, which involves self-acceptance, self-compassion, and recognizing your strengths and achievements. I hope I'm helping the coaches tonight, and even the leaders who apply a coaching approach to working with their employees. So when our coaching clients are able to increase their self-esteem, it's essential for us as coaches to provide practical guidance. Now again, that in a coaching approach, we are not telling our coachees what to do, but rather we are partnering with them with inquiry, right? Open-ended questions. We're looking at ways to bring them into a place of self-reflection. We come in with these meaningful questions for them to create actionable items. So I have like 4 areas that I want you to consider as you are coaching to increase your coaching clients or even your own self-esteem. All right. So number one, y'all, number one is to identify and challenge negative self-talk. I'm going to go on and put that in the chat. So for the people who are catching the replay, number one is what we want to do as a coach is to help them to identify and then challenge those negative self-talk. All right, so let's look at that. Let's look at that. So when we are identifying negative self-talk, that really increases the impact or the likelihood of your self-esteem going down. So here we want to put our coaching clients in a place where we are encouraging them to become aware of their inner dialogue. And then we want to challenge that the negative or the self-critical thinking or those thoughts. And we want to help them to get into a place where they're replacing these thoughts with positive, affirming statements that are more supportive and realistic for themselves. All right. So, because we are taking a coaching approach, we're not taking an approach as a trusted advisor where we're giving advice. We're not mentoring where we're going to give advice because we've been there and done it. So in coaching, coaches have to practice self-discipline. We have to we have to refrain from giving answers, but rather asking those very, let's say, meaningful questions, powerful questions that cause our coachees to go within and bring out the best solution. So I'm going to give you two questions to consider when you are coaching someone, where you are working with them on identifying and challenging this negative self-talk. So question number one, and you know that in coaching, you've heard me say this before, that we don't ask why. So it's who, what, where, when, and how. So what are some common negative thoughts you have about yourself? All right. So that's a question that we could bring to the table. Let me try. I'm going to put that in the chat so that if you all are taking notes, you will have that in the chat. So that's the first coaching question as we are working with them to identify and challenge negative self-talk. So what are some common negative thoughts you have about yourself? And listen, when you're in a place of doing self-coaching, these questions will really bring out the truth of the matter, and it'll challenge you to shift. All right, let's go to the next one. So I think I have 3 questions here. All right, so we asked that first question, what are some common negative thoughts you have about yourself? And then you can further that, we can further that by asking, how do they affect your actions and feelings? So how do those negative thoughts, let me put this in the chat for you, how do those negative thoughts then impact your your feelings and your actions? So these are good. So I'm going to put that first question up. That first question is, what are some common negative thoughts you have about yourself? And then that second question is, make sure I have my second question. How do they affect your actions and feelings? All right. So how are those negative thoughts impacting your actions and feelings? And then I have a third question here that you could potentially ask, because remember, coaching is about entering into a conversation so that you can gain a descriptive response from your coaching client or your coachee. So here's that next question, and I really love this question. I'm going to put it in the chat and put it on the screen so that you have it. That question is, how can you reframe a recent negative thought into a positive affirmation that aligns with your strengths? So when we're dealing with self-esteem, we really have to help our coaching client to identify that you have strengths that need to continue to be highlighted and need to be continued to be brought out. All right. So how can you reframe a recent negative thought into a positive affirmation that aligns with your strengths? Remember, we're focusing on identifying and challenging that negative self-talk. So that's number one. All right. I am going to move to number two. Number two, when we're helping our coaching clients to increase their self-confidence, we're going in this in a very practical manner. Remember, if you've been around me long enough, you will know that I share with you all the time that the practical gets practiced. So if we remain very practical with the people that we're working with, the people that are entrusting us with their future, then we stay in a place of being practical. All right, number two. Number two is to practice self compassion. So, as a coach, we have got to, let me put number two in this chat. You all, we've got to help our coaching clients who may be battling or have some limitations with self-esteem because of an incident that may have occurred in their life, because of a life event, because of something that happened. We want to help them and remind them that they must practice self-compassion. And let me pause, by the way, and say hello to everybody who's joining tonight. And also, we are live on YouTube, we are on LinkedIn, and of course, we are on Facebook. So I want to say hello to everybody again. As you come into the room, just drop your name in the chat so that I can properly speak to you. All right, so number two is practice self-compassion. So this is what we're working with our coaching clients towards. And when we are considering this space of coaching, so self-compassion involves individuals treating themselves with the same kindness and understanding as they would offer a friend. Yeah, this is really good. So self-compassion begins to encourage our coaches to be gentle with themselves, especially during times of failure where they've something did not work, right? Come on, what opportunities arise when life goes wrong, plans fail, you're not a good fit. So it helps them to be gentle with themselves during these times of disappointment, and it helps them to avoid harsh self-judgment. Let's just say it like that, just being harsh with themselves. So we want to, as a coaching practitioner, as a practitioner of coaching, we want to help them to get to a place where they're able to practice self-compassion in spite of what happened. So again, I'm going to repeat this. I love this. So it involves compassion involves treating oneself with the same kindness and understanding as one would offer a friend. I'm going to put let me put that in the chat really quickly, okay? Because I think that understanding that definition matters to the work that we're trying to do. We have to give language to what we are trying to facilitate progress in. All right, let me drop that in. I really love that. So we're focusing on practicing self-compassion. We're helping our coaching clients. And even if this is you see my book in the background, Coach Yourself. Even if it's you coaching yourself, we have to practice this. So let me put that up. So self-compassion involves treating oneself with the same kindness and understanding as one would offer a friend. Let's keep going. I have a couple questions that, as practitioners of coaching, we could bring to the forefront. And don't forget that, when we practice self-compassion, it helps to build a healthier self-esteem by promoting self-acceptance. So we're in a place where we are working to help them to promote self-acceptance. And again, I'm being very serious with you. I work with a lot of high achieving women. I don't post about it, right? But I work with high achieving women, and we work through these things so that they can be their best self as they are working in entrepreneurship, in higher education, and in industry. So here are two questions. If you are a practitioner of coaching, or if you're self-coaching yourself, here are two questions that we can ask as it relates to helping our coaching clients to practice self-compassion. And again, I'm always going to put questions in because coaches don't tell you what to do. I have to repeat that because it's a bit of a pet peeve for me when I hear individuals say, I'm coaching an individual. I gave them strategy. I told them this. That's either consulting, it's mentoring, it's you being a trusted advisor. You could be counseling, but that's definitely not coaching. All right. So we ask questions. Coaches ask questions. It doesn't mean that coaches don't share a level of feedback, but we mostly lead in with questions. So, all right, let's get to this question. Let me get off that soapbox. How do you typically react when you make a mistake or fall short of expectations? I'm going to put that in the chat. All right. So again, we're dealing with practicing self-compassion. Here is question number 1 connected to self-compassion. And it is, how do you typically react when you make a mistake or fall short of your expectations? So again, we are helping our coaching clients to practice self-compassion. The second question is, what would it look like to show yourself the same compassion you would offer to a close friend in a similar situation? I love that. Why? Because it does not allow the coachee or the coaching client to say, I don't know, right? So we are, we are very creative when we are practicing coaching, when we're taking a coaching approach. And I love this. So what would it look like to show yourself the same compassion you would offer to a close friend in a similar situation? Because what happens, you all, is we are able to give a lot of advice to our friends, our family, our colleagues. But when it's time for us to self coach, when it's time for us to create solutions and solve problems, it becomes a little difficult. So I love this question. All right, so those are the 2 questions that we could ask our coaches, our coaching clients, or even ourselves as we are dealing with increasing this space of practicing self-compassion. All right, I'm going to move to the third focus area, and that's focusing on strengths and achievement. Again, these 4 areas that I'm sharing with you will help to, this is number 3. Let me make sure I get that in there. It's going to help to increase the self-esteem of your coaching client. So, number 3 here, you all, is to focus on strengths and achievements. All right. How are we going to do that? Well, let's talk about it first. So, when we are helping our clients to focus on strengths and achievements, we're helping them to recognize and celebrate um, their strengths and their accomplishments, regardless of how small. Regardless of how small, we are helping them to give themselves a pat on the back. We are helping them to acknowledge that they have won in this season, no matter how big or how small. So I'm going to put that in the chat so that we understand that this is what we're talking about as we're focusing on strengths and achievements. Let me make sure to get that in the chat. And then I'm going to highlight it here on the screen. So we, in this space, when we're focusing on strengths and achievements, we are helping our coaching clients to recognize and celebrate their strengths and accomplishments, no matter how big or small. I love that. And this helps to create a practice of daily or weekly reflection where they're able to write down their achievements and the positive qualities. And this focus can then begin to shift their attention from what they lack to what they already possess. And that is huge. And we need to make sure that is a strong reminder as we are working with our clients. Okay, I'm going to make sure to highlight this. Let me put it up here. The focus, when we're able to focus on their strengths and achievements, this helps them to shift their attention from what they lack to what they already possess. Here's 2 coaching questions that we can ask. What are 3 strengths or qualities you are proud of? All right, so let's put that in the chat because this is the start of coaching in this space. Let me drop that in and I'll bring that to the screen so that if you're taking notes, you will have this. What are 3 strengths or qualities you're proud of? All right, so it's important to get them identifying these achievements and really identifying them out loud. Here's the next question. I actually have 3 questions in this category. Here's the next question. I love this one as well. I really like all of these questions. Here you go. Here you go. The next question is, how have they helped you in your life or work? So remember, we just asked them, what are 3 strengths or qualities you're proud of? And now we're asking them is how have those 3 strengths or qualities that you're proud of, how have they helped you in your life or work? So again, this gets their self-esteem enhanced and enriched and increased because they're now able to hear themselves say, you know, I've done some remarkable work. When we say remarkable, it's work that's remarked about. I've done some extraordinary work, extraordinary. Come on. And so we have to get our coaches in a place where they are acknowledging that and they're not focusing on those past concerns. Here is the third question. We can ask them, you know, how did you feel, all right, when you were in a state of being proud? So big or small, the win, how did that make you feel? So let's put that in the chat. How did the win make you feel? I think it's important to acknowledge feelings in this space. And, you know, we know that we are emotional. Let me do that again. Need to edit that. Okay, let me get that up here. So we want to know, how did the win make you feel? So it's important to identify those feelings. Well, I was happy. I was surprised. You know, it's important to be able to identify those feelings along this coaching path. And then another question connected to this is, what did you learn about yourself through that experience? I love this. Y'all, these are some phenomenal coaching questions to help to increase the self-esteem of your coaching clients. Let's drop that in and bring that up. What did you learn about yourself through that experience? You all are going to be enhanced in your coaching skills. All right. So what did you learn about yourself through that experience? All right. I am rounding us off. Here's number 4. We have to help them when we're helping them to increase their self-esteem. We also need to, number 4, help them to set boundaries and practice saying no. And I'm going to share with you what made me bring this out. All right. When you think about self-esteem, it can be undermined when individuals overextend themselves to please others at their own expense. Oh, goodness. I'm going to put this in so that this is highlighted for you. And I believe we've all been in this situation before. So we're helping them to set boundaries and practice saying no. This is important because self-esteem can be undermined when individuals overextend themselves to please others at the expense of their own needs. You know, I did a study, I did a Facebook survey when I was writing my book, The Handbook to Dominate Your Confidence. And one section of the book is being able to enhance or really to be proficient in your vigor, which is how you're utilizing your time. And so I asked 107 people responded. And I asked, what's your agreement level as it relates to you putting your own vision on hold to see about or to attend to the needs of others? 68% of people say that they put their own needs aside to help another person create vision, to help other individuals to get to their goals. So this is very important as it relates to self-esteem. All right, so let's look at the questions that let me say this. We have to help our coaching clients to understand the importance of setting healthy boundaries and the power of saying no when necessary. Now, if you are a person who frequently says yes to everything that people ask you to do, when you begin to say no, or let me check my calendar, or I'm unavailable without any explanation, individuals may begin to look at you a little differently. They may, quote unquote, feel some kind of way. They may also get a little upset with you. So you have to get into a place where it's okay, because this is about your own needs, and that is where that becomes very powerful for individuals who are making impact or reaching their visions and goals. All right, so when you say no, it leads to a greater sense of control and respect for yourself. Yep, it leads to a greater sense of control and respect for yourself. All right, here are your questions. We're gonna be quick. Let's try to be quick with this. Uh, how do you currently handle situations when you feel pressure to say yes, even when you want to say no? Ooh, y'all. When I tell you this is such a challenging question, but it is so necessary as we are working with our high achieving coaching clients, as we're working with ourselves. This question is a game changer. How do you currently handle situations when you feel pressure to say yes, even when you want to say no? I'm going to pause and let you chew on that. Let me just pause in silence. All right. So this is a very important question, and we have to settle this within ourselves. We really have to settle this and resolve this. How do you currently handle situations when you feel pressure to say yes, even when you want to say no? So again, you all, in this section, we are helping our coaching clients to have a new perspective as it relates to setting boundaries and practicing saying no. If you know individuals right now who have concerns or limitations with saying no, send them this question. All right, here's the second question, and we are wrapping up. All right. What are some specific boundaries you can set that would help you feel more respected and valued? Because remember, you all, when we set boundaries, it gives us a greater sense of control and having respect for ourselves. When we don't set boundaries, we want to consider, do I really respect myself? Do I respect my time? All right, here's the question. What are some specific boundaries you can set that would help you feel more respected and valued? All right. So as you're working with your coaching clients, your coachees, even if you're self-coaching yourself, I've given you 4 areas to focus on. So number 1, I said identify and challenge negative self-talk. Number 2 is practice self-compassion. Number 3, focus on strengths and achievement. Number 4, set boundaries and practice saying no. I gave you a list of open-ended questions that you can ask your coachee, your coaching client, listen, your employees, and even yourself, that will help you to increase your self-esteem. So remember, we said self-esteem refers to an individual's overall sense of self-worth and self-value. And your self-esteem can influence your relationships, your decision making, and your emotional well-being. Well, listen, y'all, I have enjoyed my time with you all tonight. I want you to go to our website. Let me put this up. We do have a coach certification program that is quickly approaching. It's actually starting in October. It's a 4-week online distance education program. Is starting in October, and we want you to be involved with this movement. We have 80 coaches. We are international, so we have coaches located in Trinidad and Tobago as well as the Bahamas. And we're looking for continuing to expand the coach certification program. So to find out more information about our coach and facilitator certification program, you can go to thecoachingseat.com. Let me see. I want to also invite you. Nope, I don't have that slide in. You all, I have a new book out that is called The Handbook to Coach Yourself. I think you see it right behind me, but this is a phenomenal book that helps you to break through barriers to facilitate progress in every single area of your life. And so check out this book. You can actually purchase it at my website, which is thecoachingseat.com. All right, you all. We will see you next Thursday in the evening time, where we are giving you a coaching tip that equips. All right. See you soon.
It's time. If you wanna be a champion, you gotta do the work. If you wanna be a world dominator, you gotta know your worth. Unleash potential and leave a legacy. Whatever you want, whatever you need, you can find within the coaching seat. If you wanna be a champion, you gotta do the work. If you wanna be a world dominator, you gotta know your worth. Unleash potential and leave a legacy. Whatever you want, whatever you need, you can find within the coaching seat.
All right, you all. Don't forget to come into our text community, where you can find out all information about what we have going on. All you need to do is text the word "the coaching seat," no spaces in between, to the number 833-567-4252. Remember that these social media platforms are borrowed spaces. And so if you want to stay in the loop of what we have going on, please join our text community. Just text the coaching seat to 833-567-4252. All right, y'all. So we will see you next Thursday for a coaching tip that equips. See you soon.